Today we are going to learn static imports of Java. So basically the topics are like what is static import, the advantages of the static import and disadvantages of that, and then some examples. So what is static import? Static import is a feature that is actually provided from Java 5 and introduced, and it is like allows the member, that is either fields or member methods which has been in the scope of the container of the class to import it, and in the program we can use only the member or method without import it. So we just import in statically in a package level in the class, and then we can just use it without importing the complete class name with the or the package name. Okay, we can go by example. So basically the static import advantages, before we start this, so let me explain what is static import look like. So let's say this is one of the class. So basically if you know, like let's say we can create a hello world program where we can write this kind of code, right? System.print.out.println. So now if we do that, so we write hello. So in this particular case, if I run this program, it will print hello Java. So now here out is one of the inner class of system. If I go inside the system class, this is also final class, and inside that we can find one variable out. This is also static variable, and inside the out class, that is print string, we have that println method. Basically we call this string method. Okay, from there it actually prints. So let's say I don't want to use this system, I want to omit this. How can we do? We can write import static. So normal import is import that package name. When we use the static import, we are doing like this. Now system. Okay, now there is one thing, like there is, if you mention start, so that means anything inside this system class, either it is member or it is a method, all will be statically imported. So here, like because it is like out is a member of system, I mentioned start, so it is statically imported. Okay, so if I run this, it will print hello Java. Now let's say there is one, let's say for math in Java there is one API, like package called math, where I can have multiple APIs. Let's say print any of the math square. Let's say here also the same thing, like I want to, by default actually math is imported, so it is come with the IO package. Okay, it is square of 1, square of 2 is 4. It will be like that. Now it actually double. So let's say I want to remove this math dot. How to do that? So I can import static in math. It is inside Java lang package. So if I do that, if I use this, then it will be like this. So it will print this. Now it is square root actually, so it will actually print the square root of 2. So now if I make a square root of 9, it will print 3. Now let's say in math package there are, apart from square root, there are many other functions, like like we can say absolute function, all are static final, all are static. So actually here we are concentrating on the static function. Okay, so if I use the absolute function, so ABS. So if I mention, let's say take this and use this, so let's say what will happen. Here, so it will print the absolute function. Obviously I can remove this, it will also print, because I mentioned is a star, so it will also print the absolute value of that. So in it, and also there are many functions. Now also, if I only want to import the square root function only, then we just in the import we can mention the method actual name. So for all other API we need to mention the package. So here for this particular case, square root is statically imported, so I can use wherever I want to use inside this particular class, but I cannot use this apps function because it is not statically imported, so I need to use like that. I hope you understood. Now there is, so the advantage is that if I go to the advantage section, so I need to write less code. Let's say I want to use the square root function like in the different APIs present in this particular class multiple times, so I can use as static import and use that only square root. And if you want to consider is as readable perspective, it is more readable because it is like less number of line word we are using for like that actually eliminate the package. In our case math dot square root, only you are using square root, so it is actually more readable. And also in terms of writing DSL, it is very useful because if you want to write any domain specific language, then elimination of class packages and method, all this kind of thing is required, and the word that we use, it should be a kind of a plain text English language, so it will be more suitable for DSL like language. But as it is having some advantages, also it is kind of having some disadvantages as well. So if we overuse the static import, then the program will be very much unreadable in some cases and also unmaintainable because we do not know this particular method belongs to which particular class, because the class is statically imported like I mentioned. In that case, like let's say system.start. Now system having many methods and all are now member and method all are statically imported. Now if I want to use it, and there are many other class having the same static member name, same name or same method name present in other class, then it will be ambiguous. Okay, so that is the second point. So if the static members of different classes having the same name or method having the same name, then it actually create ambiguous entities. So let's give you one example. Let's say I have created two class, custom SI static import 1 and static import 2. So in this example, both method having test method, both class having test method. So let's say for the first example, I first remove everything here, and okay, now need to remove it, just comment out. Let's say here I want to use the custom SI dot test. So this is the thing I want to use it, right? And this, so what is the issue? Okay, so actually it is not returning anything. So let's say it should return something. Let's say make it a string API and return this. Okay, and in the second API return 2. Now if I do it here like that, first I'm checking it is working. Yeah, it is printing. So now I want to use the static import. So static custom si dot start, let's say. Okay, and so I no need to write this, so I can use this and it will have this. Okay, same thing if I do for custom si 2, I have also same. Now here it will create the ambiguity because all the same method, same static API present in the custom si2 class, but if I remove this particular import, then it will not create the ambiguity. So but now in this case, let's say the method is same for two classes, then we need to use the complete package name, then it will not create any ambiguity. Here suppose I want to use the method of these two of then it will not create the ambiguity. So why it is required in sometimes it is required because let's say I want to have the other member variables that want to be used. Let's say public static final string some test m, let's say. Okay, test m1. So this is one kind of member variable, and if I have, we can also the same name, but in here we can, let's say it is different name. So here I can also use anything. Let's say because I already imported both, so if I use test, I can use test m without import, and also I can use test m1. Okay, so this is the advantage. So I import both, static import for both class, and you can check it is working as per expected. So if I use, okay, so this is the static import all about. So I hope that we clear out all the doubts. So basically it is a Java 5 feature. From Java 5 it is being introduced, and we should correctly use it whenever it is required. Whenever you want to use one class particular static function or static member multiple times in a class, you can use it. Disadvantage I mentioned, it is not very readable if we use multiple times, but the class is very extensive. If the class is very big, then we should not use it, but sometimes it is required to create DSL, that time we can use it. So thank you, that's all. I hope you understand.